Hey girl, hey! And welcome to Sibling Cinema,
where we explore movie masterpieces
that one of us has never seen before in order to sway or convert the other into fandom.
Each week, we'll introduce a movie we love,
from sci-fi classics
to Korean horrors,
and try to convince the other it's a masterpiece.
One's seen it, one hasn't.
I am your host, Tony.
And I'm your co-host, Leanne.
Sit back,
relax.
This is Sibling Cinema.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me. So be it, Jedi.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Sibling Cinema. I am your co-host, Tony, and I'm joined back here with my sister, Leanne. Hey girl, hey Leanne.
Oh, hey girl, hey.
Last episode...
Oh no.
Leanne continued her journey in the Star Wars universe by watching Empire Strikes Back, and gave it an 8 out of 10 on her fan rating, which is an improvement of 1. You are calling to the light side of the Force, young Padawan. Come to fandom, come here.
He doesn't like you.
I don't like you either. You have delved deeper into the Star Wars world this week with the final film of the original trilogy, Return of the Jedi. So, Leanne, I'd like to start this episode a little bit differently than what I have done in previous ones. I present to you, Leanne, the Trilogy Medal, having watched and completed the original Star Wars trilogy. Round of applause, everyone. Leanne, it's an extraordinary feat. How do you feel?
How gracious of you to knight me with a medal. You fucking arsehole. You've made me do this after all these years. This is crazy. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either, if I'm honest.
I can't believe it. It's weird.
I would reap the day to witness my sister completing the Star Wars original trilogy. It's unthinkable. It's unfathomable. It's insane, Jeremy.
You're such a freak.
Leanne, as we always do, you have 1 minute for a plot summary of Return of the Jedi. Just to prove that you've watched it.
It's too hard. Of course I've watched it.
Your time starts now.
Okay, so Vader and the bad guys are making repairs on a Death Star. Another one. I don't know why they've done that. It didn't work last time. Anyway, some time has passed, clearly. And Luke has to rescue Han from the carbonite. He's currently stored at Jabba the Hutt's palace. So C-3PO and R2 go in there as a gift, like an offering that he can use to negotiate for Han's release. And Leia sneaks into the palace as a bounty hunter, pretending that she's captured Chewie, and she gets him out of the carbonite, and then Jabba catches her and she's enslaved, and then Luke rocks up and he's all like, let my friends go, but Jabba drops his stupid ass through a trapdoor to be eaten by a beast.
10 seconds.
No! Luke slays it, Jabba's not happy, he gets a green lightsaber, the rebels have to attack the Death Star once the shields are done, but it's a trap. It's a trap!
It's done. It's over, beast. Oh, God.
I go into too much detail at the beginning.
That was appalling. That is your worst one. I thought you'd get better as each episode goes on, but that was an abomination.
I miss so much.
God damn it, Leanne.
I knew that was going to be hard.
God damn it. Right, so 1 minute plot summary completion done. Leanne, what did you think of Return of the Jedi? First initial thoughts.
Okay, I thought the opening plot with Jabba was captivating.
Okay.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed Luke's growth as a Jedi, and him being confident was actually really cool to see. I liked the bike chase scene on the forest planet. The Ewoks. the Ewoks were stupid.
You're in the stupid category. I was wondering whether you'd think they're stupid or
it was so stupid. I enjoyed when Chewie and the Ewoks stole the Walker, though. I thought that was a cool moment. The peak for me was the face-off in the end. I think there were parts I really liked about this film, but I feel like some parts really let it down, and there are some questions that have not been answered. such as why does Vader breathe that way?
Oh my
It's
god,
still
you're
not
still on
answered.
this.
It's still not answered.
No, there is a quote where it kind of answers it. He's more
there's
machine.
something about how he's more machine than man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain how he became that way. If that makes any sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so. But you'll probably find that out in later films, I'm sure. I'm sort of on the same wavelength of it as I watched it as well. There are elements of this film that I think are some of the best in the actual trilogy itself. You said about Luke and his change and comparing him from the Luke that we saw in A New Hope. There's such a huge change, and his character arc completion at the end, I think, is one of the best character arcs completion and conclusions that there is in cinema. The Ewoks, I've got a soft spot for the Ewoks. Some people hate them.
No, man.
No, I do like them. I do like them, yeah.
To be absolutely honest, I do feel conflicted about them. Okay, but I mostly feel annoyed by them. I feel like they are there for the kids. Again, childish.
Yeah, for more...
unnecessary. We spent way too long with them. Way too long.
I mean, you've put it that way, maybe. I mean, like, you are right. They are for more profitability and merchandise than anything. But I feel like they encompass, like, the whole deforestation theme that comes with it, of the
right
going against, like, the metal and machines versus nature. And eventually, yes, nature does win, which it would. It would go through strife, but ultimately nature rules it all. So in this film, Leanne, it was directed by Richard Marquand. I think that's how you pronounce it.
So not Mr. Lucas.
No, not Lucas again. Again, he gave up.
Was his little heart still bad?
Still stressed, but again, like in Empire, he gave up his directorial role to have full creativity over the project. He was going to give the director to Steven Spielberg, but they were at sort of a dispute with the Directors Guild of America. Basically, Lucas had a falling out with the DGA prior to Empire's release, just because of the credit placement of Empire. So the credits were all at the end, rather than...
At the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning, which is what A New Hope was, firstly. So that kind of a conflict, put him in a bad stead with the DGA, and he left that organisation. He then asked David Lynch, but he couldn't do it because he was directing the original Dune.
A Lynch Star Wars film would have been awesome.
Would have been cool. And that's when, Richard got the job, but the problem was he was highly inexperienced. George Lucas was on set permanently to make sure he got it right, which is some, like, pressure for a director to be under. The creative force behind Star Wars, watching your every move. Carrie Fisher hated him.
Why?
Because he was giving... I feel like he fell all over for Harrison Ford, but when she was in scenes, he would yell at her. And one time, he made her cry by shouting...
No. How dare he?
Aye. He was shouting at her, saying, "You're fucking up the shot!"
Oh my god, no.
It was probably under, like, a lot of stress from everything, like the conclusion to Star Wars.
Lucas would never.
Yeah, it's no excuse. So yeah, I think it was a bad rub off on the cast. There was a little bit of an exodus. Gary Kurtz, who was the producer of the last two, he left after the project. Ralph McQuarrie, who was one of the designers, he was a part of it, but then the Ewoks started to become teddy bear-like, and he hated that, and he left.
Yeah. Right, okay. So they weren't initially teddy bear-like?
No,
is what I'm hearing.
They were actually more humanoid-like, quite taller, like Wookiees, basically. But as the
like
designs...
Chewie?
Yeah. Well, originally the planet was going to be inhabited by Wookiees, but he
That
wanted
would have been awesome.
I think it would have been cool, yeah. But wait a minute, you hated Chewbacca. Why would you have found it awesome?
No. He pissed me off in the last film, but he's taller, he's strong. It's more believable that he would take down armoured stormtroopers compared to sticks and stones.
I do like it, though, when they appear out of the grass from nowhere. It's so funny.
It's not funny.
It is funny.
No, I rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they suck.
Well, so yeah, we get started with the film with a small little scene with the Empire. You can see the change in Vader. He's a lot more rational in his decisions and not more da. His officers are now kind of confiding in him. When the officer's like, but he asked the impossible, I need more men. I don't think the officer would have had the balls to do that in front of Vader before. But now you're seeing this sort of change since he's come across his son. there's that rationale, there's that calmness that's coming through.
I didn't get that vibe at all from him. I
didn't?
found him to be quite. I thought the captain was shitting himself, having to say that to Vader.
He was shitting himself, but he was like, Darth Vader, help me out here, man. Which I don't
Yeah,
think
like,
the officers would have done before.
Again, he's micromanaging, but very displeased.
Aye.
And I think he gives them a heads up, actually. You might be onto something, Tony, because he's actually warning them that the Emperor's on his way and that he's unsatisfied with them, so brace yourselves.
Yeah.
And how he has lack of confidence and they need to step up. It's kind of like what a dad might say to you if you really fucked up.
I didn't look at it like that.
I'm just thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, because you brought it up.
Yeah.
You brought up the point.
You mentioned in your 1 minute plot summary that there's another Death Star, which, it's a recyclement. It's
lazy. It's so. Why would they do it again? It makes no sense. It didn't work the last time.
So
I couldn't get my head around that. Make a fire star. Make anything else.
The reason why it's there is because originally, in George Lucas's stories, the Death Star was only appearing at the end. But because he only knew he had one film, he wanted to put the Death Star in the end of A New Hope because he didn't know that he was going to have so many other films like signed off for him because of the success.
Fair enough. He could have thought of something else for the finale, rather than rehashing the first great idea he had, and he had to sandwich it in there. I get that because he didn't know, but come on, man.
I agree. And it just strikes me like they take ages to build the first Death Star, which you'll soon realise. But they've managed to build this second Death Star in a year of when that time happens. So yeah, I thought it was a bit silly.
Oh, question. So this is something that I really do need to ask. How much time has passed in between the films at this point?
Not that long. So they rendezvous at Tatooine, and I think they're trying to find where Hannah's been taken. So honestly, I'm assuming here, I'm going to guess like maybe 2 months. Not even that. That's my guess. So then we come to Tatooine and Jabba's palace. Weird and wonderful things are going on here that we can talk about. Jabba himself, the puppet, is incredible. It required 6 people to operate him. 3 people.
6?
Yeah. 3 people inside were working on his arms, head and tongue. 1 was operating his tail. And there was another person lying below the puppet to move his mouth. And the other 2 radio controllers were for his eyes.
Honestly, I appreciated it. He felt like a living, breathing thing.
Yeah.
It was so well done. He was repulsive, though.
Oh, absolutely. Tell me more about what you felt about Jabba, because that was what George Lucas wanted. He wanted something gluttonous and disgusting and selfish.
He can't stop eating. He treats everyone around him with disrespect. Yeah, like you said, he's gluttonous. And he's clearly got a lot of power over these people. I don't think any of them actually want to be there. I think there's something darker. And the way he just threw like one of the party guests into the hole, and you just hear the screaming, and it's terrible. But everyone's like, yeah, more of that, please. I was like, oh my god, like this palace. I'm using quotation marks here, okay? It felt more like a dungeon that he was ruling.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. What did you think of like the pop song in it? Give me your feelings.
The dance. Don't, because I've got a list of silly bits, and that was on it. The CGI was atrocious. It was absolutely awful.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
rolled
cringy.
my eyes.
Yeah, it's cringy.
Hated it.
But like, I understand it's cringy, but remember, this is a different culture that he's building, and you're gonna react to it being like, oh, that's cringy, because I think he was trying to build some sort of pop thing going on here, which didn't really resonate with the audience, and yeah, it still doesn't resonate. It's quite a cringy scene.
No, but for me, it was how bad the CGI was. For like only 3 of the people there. I think the rest were puppets or something else.
Yeah.
But there were only a few characters that really stood out to me as really bad CGI. The one on the microphone, I think, the lipstick.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, mate, no. Hated it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So yeah, our heroes are built there. Obviously, C-3PO and R2-D2 are requested there by Luke as a prize for Jabba, as a present to release Han Solo. And then we have the masked bounty hunter disguised as Princess Leia in there, bargaining for money for Chewbacca. Little fact about this: the voice that
Yes.
it's not a robotic voice of Carrie Fisher. It's actually a voice from Pat Welsh, who voiced E.T.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
They did a good job. It sounded like a robot, disgusting and phlegmy.
Well, that was the actor. That wasn't like anything digitally enhanced. And she smoked 2 packets of Camel cigarettes in order to get that raspy
Oh man!
for it.
No, camels are rough. They're very strong. Just to rewind a little bit, I feel like we kind of skipped over R2 and C3PO being together again.
Oh, yes,
and,
yeah.
And R2 is smart, and C3 is like, the whole time. And a little detail I loved was the hostile little eye that bolts out at them from the gate when they're trying to gain entry, and he's horrified.
Goodness gracious me.
Yeah, and the Pigman guards, like, they looked crazy. And I appreciated they weren't CGI. They looked like rubber costumes.
Yeah, they were
And
there.
the red-eyed freak with the flesh neck and the tentacle wrapped around like a scarf that leads them to Jabba, I thought he was really creepy with these red eyes. And the weird shaky creature that's...
Oh, the tiny one that's like
a-
laughing.
Yeah, the tiny...
Yeah,
I
it's
hated
a
him.
fucking weird puppet.
Idiot.
Man.
I thought what was very, very interesting was they lead C-3PO through the room with all the robots being tortured.
The one with the
Scalding
feet.
them.
Yeah.
With the feet.
Yeah, I forgot about that detail when I was watching it again. I was like, oh, that's pretty jokes.
No, it was very funny.
Yeah, and then you can hear the voice of it going, no.
Yes. and then Luke strolls through the same entrance, right, eventually, where all the pigs were, where everyone had a real hard time getting through. And he's just like... And I was like... And he's wearing black now? I was like, excuse me. What the fuck has happened?
Yeah, man. The costume
What's happened
department.
to Luke?
They got to put him in black to resonate from the relationship of Vader. It works.
It was crazy.
And it's like, I don't want to say too much about what the original ending would have been, because I'll talk about that in a bit. But the first power that Luke uses is choking, which mirrors Vader. It's like, oh shit, is Luke going to turn to the dark side? Yeah, it's very suggestive.
So Luke's a badass now. He felt completely different to me in this. It felt like he was a different person. He wasn't whiny. He was wearing like a cloak, like with a hood. He was wearing black. He was using the Force a lot. And throughout the film, like, he's just so cocky now. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened in between the films, but man's went through puberty or something, because Luke was... He was decent in this film. I
think after like the confrontation of Vader, nothing could have like beat that. So I think he was taking it in his stride and dealing with, like, it was his first like mission, and he fucking wasn't his first mission, but
he lost his hand.
He got the experience. Yeah, he got that now. Leia gets captured, of course, and we can't not talk about Leia's golden bikini, which you have been so desperate to see. Talk to me. Did you like?
The bikini happened, and it lived up to all of my expectations. Bless you, Carrie Fisher. My desktop wallpaper has changed.
Carrie Fisher's
but
amazing.
Yeah, no, I thought it was awesome. You mentioned though, when we touched upon this in previous episodes, that it's a little bit touchy. Explain to me. Talk to me.
I mean, it's
because I've got opinions if it is what I think it is.
So the original costume was supposed to be quite militant, but Carrie Fisher suggested herself for it to be a lot more skimpier. However, George Lucas then showed her the new outfit, which is way more skimpier than she was thinking, and she thought they were joking, and she was like, nope, you're going to be wearing this. So she actually felt very nervous in the bikini. They told her to sit very straight so there were no creases on her side, for fuck's sake, which is absolutely ridiculous.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she was very uncomfortable and quite nervous when it came through. The redeeming part was that Leia kills Jabba in the end.
Yes, with her chains.
With her chains, which she loved filming. That was her favourite part to do. And now, well, not now anymore, she's passed away, but when she used to go to Comic-Con, R.I.P., she used to go to Comic-Con, and she jokes that her favourite costume that she likes to see is the golden bikini, but on men.
Nice.
And she sees like skinny men wearing them, big men wearing them, and it made her feel much more good about herself and the way that she looked back then for when she was being filmed that way.
But she looked incredible. And I think, I'm not sure if Slave Leia should bother us too much, okay? This isn't portrayed as a positive experience for her, is it? Do you know what I mean? She was captured while risking her life to save someone that she loved, was enslaved, and so this outfit was put on her to humiliate her. She was a princess after all, and the Romans used to take delight in making royals they captured wear things that were beneath them all the fucking time in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And I think the kicker for her was that she uses her chains to choke her captor to death, and to me still shows a very powerful character in Leia, and it shouldn't be anything that Star Wars should be ashamed of. Apart from their behaviour towards her, you know, the whole sitting up straight so that she doesn't crunch her belly. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah.
Everyone creases, man.
Right.
That's how bodies work.
Yeah, so the overall experience for her was bittersweet. The fact that she's been stripped off, and it gives us an even more ugly look at Jabba, who practices slavery, and
Yes.
that is horrible. So I think their attempt to make us hate Jabba worked in that regard.
It also made her feel more vulnerable to me. You know how she's always so tough? Like, there's nowhere to hide a gun in that bikini. Do you know what I mean? And the chain around her neck. And at one point, I think that the lads run in, and one of them says, "Where's Leia?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'm here."
Yeah.
Like, kind of annoyed that they just completely ignored her.
The bikini has recently sold at an auction. Do you know how much for?
No.
It sold for $175,000.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's a lot.
It's
Whoa.
a lot.
Honestly, I thought it would go for millions. Something I picked up on
Yes.
was that Lando was there in disguise with the elephant tusk mask. I was like, it's Lando.
Mm-hmm.
He betrayed them.
No, he helped
Fuck is he
them.
doing
What
it?
are you talking about? He
Oh,
helped them at the end.
I'm still bitter about the betrayal, if I'm being real.
He's
I'm
done it
still
for
really
a
bitter.
reason. No, I'm still Lando, Team Lando. I love him. Luke tries to save them, but his naivety again gets the better of him, and he falls down into the pit, where he is faced by the Rancor. This is my favourite puppet, and I love the Rancor. Not just because of the puppetry, but how invested I personally got in the Rancor itself for the smallest thing, and it's the noises that it makes. And it's this, when it gets killed at the end, there's a dog whine noise. Did you hear that? And that
Yes,
made me
totally.
feel like, oh. And I was genuinely so upset that the Rancor was dead and killed.
No, but what made me upset was the keeper, like
Oh,
its
the
master's
slave- yeah,
reaction.
the slave
He
keeper.
was so sad.
know.
He was so sad. He was devastated. And I think someone goes up and taps him on the shoulder,
Yeah,
like, it's
and
all
he's
right,
like-
mate.
It genuinely gets me every time. Every time I hear that Rancor whine and he comes in crying, it makes me feel something for some reason.
That's how good the puppetry must have been, right? To make
Aye.
you feel something about this
Beast.
puppet. Like, it's a beast. It's over a beast.
It's a tyrannical T-Rex beast of a puppet.
It was brutal. It ate that pig. That pig thing. And its mates was watching going, "Hey."
And you could see it was getting more and more frustrated the more it couldn't get Luke. Its whines were getting angrier and hyper. Oh, that's great. It was originally going to be puppeted by just a human in like a costume, but they'd done a few tests and it was shit. So they opted for rod-operated puppetry and hand puppets as well at a different camera angle.
So how many men did this take?
Only 3, I think. So you had Phil Tippett as the main kind of head and stuff, and then you had 2
You know
other...
the names of the puppeteers.
Well, the designers and the
You're
creators.
a fucking freak.
And then 2 puppeteers on either side doing the arms and the mouth and the legs. We then move on to the pit scene. Not in Tunisia this time. It's now filmed in California.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, they still had problems because it was quite sandy, so the hydraulics didn't work. So again, they opted to animate this puppet with poles and wires again for it. This scene, I'm bittersweet of it. We see Luke Skywalker in action, his brand new lightsaber, green this time.
Yes, and how did R2 get that for him? It made no sense.
No, he planned it.
Yes, I know it was all planned, but where did he get it from?
What do you mean?
Where do you go to get a lightsaber?
Oh,
green now.
He built it himself.
That's crazy. And also, if Luke lived on this planet, Tatooine or whatever it's called, was he not aware that the big Dune worm lived there?
Yeah, I think he would be aware of it.
And also, I think it looked really stupid.
The CGI, yes, makes it look much more
It looked like a Mario plant, mate.
Yeah.
And I was like, the CGI, you're ruining it. What was it before?
That whole shell didn't exist. It was just arms lifting back and forth and with just a big hole. That was it.
With the teeth?
The teeth on the sides, yeah. But no big shell plant thing.
No, but an endless hole with just teeth sounds a lot scarier to me than a Mario plant. Like,
right.
Mr. Lucas, you're ruining it. Please. It feels wrong whenever I see CGI in it.
I know.
I'm just like, he's put that in there, hasn't he?
Because I think he falls in love with CGI, Leanne. As you watch like the prequels and stuff, everything becomes a lot more...
Oh, no, please.
Everything becomes a lot more
I
CGI.
can't. No, I can't.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, no.
Wait, don't diss it until you've watched it, alright? Yeah, absolute chaos. Boba Fett gets killed by a bumbling blind Han Solo, which I think is really cheap.
Right. Was
for
that the
character. The bounty
guy
hunter,
with...
yeah.
Yes, that gave the nod to
Yeah.
Leia when she was in disguise. I quite liked him. I didn't see much of him, but I was like, okay, it's kind of cool. And you're right, he died in the stupidest way.
Yeah.
It's actually on my silly list.
Yeah.
I've got a silly moments list. He gets annihilated.
Yeah. It's dumb. There are a couple of like soldiers that shoot Luke, but one shoots him on the hand where he could have gone for his body. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
Oh yeah, and he's like, my hand, and I'm like, isn't it a prosthetic hand? And you can't feel it.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even.
Shut up, Luke. You drama king.
Yeah, Leia kills Jabba, which everybody probably cheered for. They pick up everybody and they toodle off to go their separate ways. Luke goes to Dagobah, and the rest go to the Rebel Alliance. We cut to the first physical appearance of the Emperor.
Oh,
Tell me, Leanne, what did you think of the Emperor?
I thought it was a great introduction to the character. We've only seen holograms of him, I think, at this point, right? So to see him in the flesh was really cool. His eyes were disgusting.
Yeah, it's so cool.
He was a really gross character. The way he's kind of hunched, the way he carries himself, just his voice, the way his hands rest, nearly like Mr. Burns or something like that. I just wonder what he would have looked like with chimp eyes.
I know. Though, and the actor Ian McDiarmid, the incredible voice, and very glottal like that. It's a hell of a voice. The character itself was based around the Grim Reaper, so the hood, the black hood, the stick, or anything like that. But it was just a simple design, a pure personification of pure evil, and that's what it was. From the red burning eyes to the white saggy skin to the black cloak covering his face.
You definitely get evil vibes from him. Do you know what I mean? But something else I also felt about him was he's a little bit sassy. Like towards the end of the film, he's just kind of egging Luke on a little bit and just kind of going, ugh. Like...
You want this, don't you?
But he's also a tactical genius as well, it turns out. I underestimated because he was the hag man to me before. Yeah, he's not as defenseless as he seems.
No, he's a powerful motherfucker. He's one of my favourite characters in the Star Wars universe. We cut to Yoda. This Yoda is wasted in this.
Don't.
What?
Yoda.
Yes.
Yoda's like, I'll tell you everything, I will. So Luke is like, is Darth Vader my dad? And Yoda's like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And just rolls away. Oh, no, I felt bad. Like, he was dying. Like, he finally went back to complete his training.
But I feel like that comes out of nowhere for me when watching it again. Like,
yes.
if it was set up in the last film, maybe he is a little bit ill I know he's old and moving, but that's natural. But if he was ill, that could have helped with why he dies in this one as well. But it just seemed
felt
like
premature.
Yeah, it felt really premature. It felt like the writers didn't know what to do with him, so they just killed him off. And his only plot point in this is to tell him that you're not the only one. There is someone else that can help, which turns out to be Leia, which Obi-Wan reveals to him a couple of moments later. So what I told you was true from a certain point of view.
So stupid. But Yoda says something before he dies.
Mm.
He says that Luke is not yet a Jedi, right? And that he must face Vader.
Yes.
And that will give him Jedi status.
Aye.
However,
I know what you're going to say.
throughout the film, people referred to Luke as a Jedi.
Uh-huh.
A Jedi Knight. So that doesn't compute in my mind. Either is he a Jedi or is he not a Jedi? Like, I'm just very confused about this.
I'll explain. So I think there's a little bit
explain?
confusion. So within the Jedi Order, there are ranks. So there's Padawan, there's Jedi Knight, and Jedi Master. Padawan is the lowest, Jedi Knight is like mid-tier, Master is top tier. That's what that means, basically. He's not a Padawan anymore.
He's
not
a
learning.
mid-Jedi.
He is mid-range, mid-table Jedi, basically. Yeah, we cut to the Rebel fleet, who are now planning
No, wait. I got something to say about
What?
when Obi-Wan tells him that it's his sister.
Whoa.
And so he's like, oh, Lee's your sister, now go and fight fucking Vader and defeat the Emperor. And Luke's all like, no, that's my dad. And everyone is like, tough titties, go and do it anyway. But there was a silly moment, mate. There was such a silly moment. Obi's spirit sits down.
Yeah.
That was silly. Why does the spirit need to rest? He literally hobbles over and he kind of sits on the rock like, oh, I'm so weary. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Oh, I don't know. That's really minute, Leanne. God's
I
sake.
picked up on it.
I do find it funny, though, that in Empire Strikes Back, they're like, no, don't go to Vader. You're not finished your training. And then as soon as they're back, they're like, you got to go fight Vader. It's like,
Yeah.
you just done that. Luke must have been confused as fuck. They write themselves into a bit of a hole here, and I think it's very lazy. Like, your final test is to face Vader, but you've already done that.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the path here? What do I need to do? Etc. Etc. So, yeah,
They're just like, kill your dad, go on.
Yeah.
You got to do it. And he's like, oh, I can't. And they're like, tough,
Yeah.
get on with it because it needs to happen.
Yeah, some of the like screenplay in this is not good, and it shows the inexperience of Richard Marquand as director as well. It's not good.
No.
We cut to the rebels planning. We get a first glimpse of Mon Mothma, who is the senator who helped fund the rebellion. You'd recognise her as the woman with the short hair and the white dress who addresses the rebel fleet. And Admiral Akbar, fish face.
Yes, fish face. I liked him. It's a trap.
It's a trap, yes.
It's a trap.
Such an infamous line, I love it.
It was very good. But I kind of liked how, like, all the squad were there. You know, the gang were there. They're all getting prepped. And then Luke's like, I'm here too, guys. And it's like, all right, Luke, for fuck's sake. We get it. Something that was interesting to me also.
Yeah.
Why didn't Lando and Han have more beef?
I was about to say that. Yeah. It clocked to me. I was like, well, hold on a second. The last time like Han had a decent chat with Lando is him betraying you. So why are they all
weird,
tweedy and you're
why
such a
are they
good
bros
mate.
now?
Why
are they bros?
And why is
Weird.
Lando now a commander? Like he was a businessman like before.
And also, Han gives him his ship, the Malcolm Falcon. And I'm like, that's your prized possession. What are you doing? This man betrayed you.
Yeah.
I just felt there was a definite missed opportunity there to really have it out with them two.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And confront what happened.
I full-heartedly agree with you.
Stupid.
Missed opportunity to get some conflict in there, and they went for more friendship and hope, which is it's not as interesting, is it? Nope. So they make their way down to the moon of Endor. Darth Vader senses them. Luke has endangered the mission. And
Vader micromanaging again. What is that random cargo ship doing? Like, what are you doing here, Vader?
It's an older code, sir, but it checks out. I'll tell you what, your theory of him being like a line manager and micromanaging is absolute peak, Leanne.
He is.
It's incredible. They go down, they get caught immediately, and we have the speeder
Yes.
chase, which is great.
It is good.
Yeah. So how they filmed that was they actually got a camera operator to walk through the forest with a Steadicam at normal walking speed. The camera was only set to film 1 frame per second. And when it was played back at about 24 frames per second, which is normal, it looked like it was going 100 miles per hour.
Cool,
really
that's so
cool.
clever. 'Cause
Really,
I was wondering how they did it.
Yeah, really cool.
Because I noticed, like, earlier on in the film, I think when the gang are being driven out to the sand dune,
Yep.
there's a lot of green screen.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt different here. That's very interesting that someone actually had to walk that route by hand. That must have taken ages.
It must have taken hours, literally hours, to walk through that forest and to then speed it up. Like, I reckon they would have been walking for about maybe half an hour, and that would have only been enough for 5-6 seconds of footage. So they must have been walking for a very long time. They crash, and Leia is greeted by one of the first Ewoks. Do you know who that Ewok is? Do you know who's cast it?
There's real people in the Ewoks.
Yeah,
No.
it's real people. Yeah,
No, Tony.
yeah. There were some are children and some, are small people.
I thought they were puppets.
No.
The way Leia just picks one up
No.
at one point. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, no.
They're not puppets, Leanne. You
dear.
thought they
Children.
were puppets.
Children?
Children and small people, yes.
How long were they in those suits?
Oh, well.
And they looked creepy as well. They had like those human teeth and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
It took them hours to get into those costumes. There was 6 layers to that costume. So, yes, they were very, very hot. And they had to break very regularly. The Ewok that finds Leia is Warwick Davies. Would you believe it? 13-year-old Warwick
My
Davies.
mouth is aghast right now. What?
Yeah. And Carrie was so worried about him getting too hot, she brought him cold milk and cookies every hour.
Oh, she's such a darling.
That's really sweet. That's a really good.
No, that is
on
so
set.
sweet.
Kenny Baker, who of course played R2D2, also played one of the Ewoks as well, so he was double rolling in this film.
I thought it was absolutely stupid, them sitting down and eating a snack together and her kind of taming it. And then later on, she emerges from one of their nests and her hair is different. And I'm like, did they wash your hair? Like what happened here? What the fuck is happening?
She went to the
I thought
Ewok salad, bro.
Yeah, she did go to the Ewok salad. I thought the tree houses looked good,
Right.
but the Ewoks were silly.
You really didn't like
I
the
did
Ewoks?
kind of like how they thought C-3PO was a god. But I do think they would have eaten Han and Chewie if Luke hadn't rocked up.
Yeah. They're primal. They're still primal, much like the Sand People, but just a much what's the word? Docile breed of alien.
So stupid.
And cute, unfortunately, through the designs. They
No,
became
they're not
very
cute.
teddy bears.
I did not find them cute. If an Ewok came up to me, I'd kick it in the face. They're definitely not for me. I thought it was strange, and then they were accepted into the tribe.
Yeah.
And then Leia and Luke.
Oh, this
have a
fucking
moment.
scene. I hate this scene so much, Leanne. It's the worst acted scene, I think, of the entire saga. Worse than, like, prequel acting. It's so badly written and so poorly acted. What
Wait,
did you
the
think of
prequel
it?
has bad acting.
Well, I'm not going to say. Tell me what you thought of this appalling scene.
I thought there was an opportunity here
Mm-hmm.
to make this something really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it just felt like Leia barely reacted when she found out that they were related.
Yeah.
And she did not always know in her heart that is a cop-out because she kissed him in the last movie, right?
Yeah.
And why isn't she more shocked that Vader is her father,
Yep.
the man that previously held her captive? Luke told her that, and she's just like,
all those penny drops are just so poorly
they're wasted.
captured. Yeah, they're really poorly captured. And yeah, the fact that she knew all along puts a very, very weird, spin on it, on their relationship as well.
Saying that though, she did look a bit sad after, and Hun comes out to kind of have a chat, and she's like, ugh.
There's a bit where she goes, "Aye." She turns to the camera. It's so shit.
I did think Hun was sweet though. He comforted her, even though he didn't really understand what the fuck she was going through.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts? You sounded passionate when you said you hated this bit.
Yeah, I'm on the same vein of you here. I really hate this scene. I hate the way it's acted, performed, written. All of it is trash. I think the only kind of line that resonates is that the force is strong in my family. I have it, my father has it, my sister has it. And even Luke, looks at her like, my sister has it. Yeah, it's you. Do you know what I mean? He opens his mouth a little. It's just... And the way they say the lines as well isn't believable. They're trying too hard to be serious about it and too stoic when it should be more of a
really emotional moment, right?
Yeah. They're
stoic.
like, Luke, run away. You don't have to do it. It's like, no, I have to. It's like, I don't know, like...
It was poorly acted.
Poorly acted. Again, shows the inexperience of the director. I don't know what he was going for here. But it did not.
Me neither.
It did not come through.
Me neither. Just rewinding a little bit.
Yeah.
To the Ewoks. Okay. Yeah. Were the Imperials even a threat to them, really? Like, they only came to the planet to stop the rebels. But yet the Ewoks suddenly align with C-3PO's camp story. Just like, this is so stupid.
Well,
no tribe would do this on Earth. No one would sacrifice their entire colony to support... Well, no, they did think he was a god, though. Oh, damn, I'm building my own grave here. I'm conflicted about this film so much.
It's interesting you say that, because, the Emperors set up base on this moon. You would have thought there would have been some destruction to their homeland in order to get all this set up. So why wouldn't they have attacked the Empire a lot sooner? Or why hasn't the Empire made them extinct, when they set up? Or there's a lot of unanswered questions here that have come up on this section.
I just wanted to talk about Han for a moment.
We
need to. I like him and everything, but if I'm being super, super critical, just because he's in this bit for a long time, right? I feel like his character arc was complete already. He went from the selfish, sexy space scoundrel to sacrificing himself to save Luke and the woman he loved, Leia, right? And I feel like his presence didn't really affect the outcome of anything, despite the first act all being about his rescue from Jabba. I don't feel like he contributes much apart from supporting Leia and saving her ass a couple of times. Yeah,
Harrison Ford made it very clear that he didn't want to play Han Solo anymore. So, so they made his role as small and as minute as possible, basically.
What are your thoughts about him in this film?
He leads the rebel force on the planet Moon, and that's enough for it. There isn't really much you can do with Han anymore because his character arc is complete. He's changed. He's a new person. He is less apathetic. He cares more about his friends rather than himself. Those are all complete with him, and once that's done, it's very difficult to find another path where this character can grow. Whether it's getting a new pet in an Ewok or whatever, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, he said in Empire that he wanted Han Solo to be killed off, and that's why they ended it with him frozen in carbonite, because you don't know whether he's dead or not.
Shit!
Yeah, but George Lucas in the end was like, no, Han needs to stay because you're a popular character, so get a grip and do this last film.
Damn.
And, he made it very clear.
I did like him. Just felt like he didn't contribute much to this film. I still like him as a character. So that was a shame.
Luke gets taken to Vader, or he goes to get captured by Vader.
He surrenders himself, doesn't he?
He surrenders. There's that little scene in the tunnel where Luke and Vader are talking to each other. There's definitely a power play that's now discovered. Luke wanting his father to come to the light, and his father beckoning him to the dark side. Big power play that plays out in the final battle. What I find funny here is that when the stormtroopers come to collect him in the elevator, they've obviously heard a little bit of the conversation. So when Luke says that my father is truly dead and walks away, those stormtroopers must have been thinking like, dude, what the fuck is that? Are they father and son?
Yeah.
Are they father and son? The fuck is that?
See, I don't think about the stormtroopers much. I pay them no mind. They're idiots.
Yeah.
If they got taken out by Wookiees, sorry, not Wookiees, Ewoks.
Yeah.
My mistake.
Yeah, they're pretty useless. Which then commences the three-way battle, which has not been done in the Star Wars universe before, but then is echoed in the prequels. So you have the battle on the Death Star with Luke and Vader. You have the battle in space, and you have the battle on the moon with the base. 3 fights going on at the same time. Beautifully cut and very well paced throughout, I think. You could have gotten this really wrong, but they picked their moments really nicely to switch from each part in it going on. It's a terrific sequence of events. Let's talk about them one by one. Han, Leia, and Co, they get to the base. They fucking, like, among goofy moments when the Ewok gets on the speeder, chases the other two away, which go after him. Yes. And then there's this stupid shot of Han creeping up to the stormtrooper, patting him on the shoulder, and then running off in the direction. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That's on my CD list. I'm so sorry, but you're totally right. That bit where he tapped the guard on the shoulder and then ran the other direction, it was just so goofy. I cannot forgive it.
Yeah, I like
it. Totally lost me.
Yeah, it's like in a playground again. It's like someone dressed up as those characters in the playground and started playing it with them. It was childish.
You know what I think also? Like I think The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, it was darker than this. Is there a reason why this one feels so twee and light in comparison in some places? You know,
yes,
the Ewoks themselves.
There is a reason, and originally, I'll say this now, George wanted this to end very darkly. He wanted Luke to turn to the dark side, kill his father, kill the Emperor, but then wallow on Tatooine for the rest of eternity in the dark side.
Yeah!
But that is a very, very dark ending, and he wanted the trilogy to end with hope and celebration, which is why it's a lot more light-hearted than it is.
But can you imagine how much better this film could have been if it had just kind of picked off where Empire had left off in terms of the darkness? Like a similar tone, but with the tide turning in favour of the good guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the bad guys were winning in the last film, and now the good guys are in power. I feel like it spoiled what should have been a very important emotional moment.
I agree. Yeah, the battle between the Ewoks and the Empire is I quite like it. I think some parts are just ridiculous where they pop out of the grass like out of nowhere. I love like them throwing rocks at them trees and them trying to trip up a machine as well with the ropes. But there's some really like oh shit moments where the machine kills one of them and the other one gets up and he's pulling him. It's like come on, but he's dead, and he just like collapses onto it's like
yeah, that one got to me. But I just think, you know, Ewoks throwing stones versus the scene. Okay, it's strange. I feel like it loses some of its punch.
Yeah, they end up Chewie steals one of the machines with a bunch of Ewoks.
Yes, I didn't mind that. I thought that was quite funny.
He makes a Tarzan sound when he swings to the fucking machine. It's just outrageous.
It's goofy.
Which is, yeah, very good. He gets in there and the advantage goes to the Ewoks, and they finally get the door open and they manage to blow up the base. There's key like shots in there where you see trees being exploded and blown to smithereens because of that deforestation theme coming through, and nature versus machines. That is the whole theme of that battle. Really.
No, I can get behind that. It's not something I was thinking about as I was watching it. I was just like, oh.
Yeah. The squad up in space. So, I have to talk about their strategy here because it's so fucking dumb. Okay, so they're gonna fly to this Death Star. Okay, it seems as though regardless of whether the shield is down or not, and try to attack it because their entire plan pivots on whether Han and Leia and co can bring the shield down. They're not going to get any communication from the moon from far away. So they're going on a time slot to arrive there and see if the shield is up or not. It's just ludicrous. Like,
no. No, I think you're wrong. I think they knew that the shield would be down at some point.
But they didn't know. They didn't. They had no categorical reason to go there to know that the shield was down. It was like, okay, we're going to be at this Death Star at like 100 hours or whatever and hope for the best.
No, but Lando says, oh no guys, like we got to give them more time, they're going to get that shield down.
That's when it's too late. That's when they're trapped. It's a trap.
It's a trap. You idiots.
I think the Rebel Army got what they deserved. I was like, you dumb
damn,
fucks.
that's harsh.
It's just
they did
so
get
dumb. So dumb.
To be fair, I didn't really care much for Lando. He seemed really keen to help from the get-go, even though he betrayed them all.
Yeah.
And he ensured that the Red Squad pilots stayed around for the shield to go down and blah, blah, blah. But I suppose he did redeem himself. But I agree, the tactic was sloppy.
It was dumb, man. And they almost all fucking died because of it.
So what? So you didn't like the bit when they blow up the core and then they're all making their escape?
Right, how big is
that bit was all right.
How big is the Millennium Falcon? Are you really going to risk going into that fucking slot when you're about to run out of space real soon? Like, fuck off.
That's what I mean. Why is Lando so bumholey now for Han? Why is he trying to risk his neck for him all the time?
I don't know. But they must have had
Slimy.
a past. Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't explored.
No, it wasn't.
Do you know what
explored.
I mean? Very annoying.
But there's only one kind of reason this fight is important, is not only to blow up the Death Star, but it heightens the stakes when the Death Star becomes fully operational, and then you're like,
yes.
Oh, fuck. You guys are truly fucked now.
That goddamn Emperor, he's too smart.
There's a clip in it as well that I really hate. It's where the ship, the big Death Star, gets destroyed and it's falling. And it falls, it would assume, to be on the Death Star. But isn't that ship, like, fucking gigantic? Wouldn't it have, like, affected the Death Star structure at all? I'm getting too into it, but I was just like, no, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
But the ships at some point, to me, looked like cities. They were so large.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know why I'm defending.
It's so dumb. I hate their tactic. It's so dumb.
Tony. That's not the dumbest thing.
It is so dumb.
It's not the dumbest.
It's so dumb. Let's move on to the final fight of Vader and Luke, and the Emperor sitting in the background in his chair. There's a fucking awesome shot of him next to the window, and it like looks like a spider web behind him. It's like him as the spider, like catching them in his way. It's a great little bit of cinematography.
I've got a lot to say about this scene.
Yeah, me too. This is the best fight between all three of them. I love it. You go first.
Let me just kind of summarize how I felt about it. So during this fight scene with Luke and Vader, it is in some places so emotional, it gave me chills. Some of the sequences, some of the most iconic and powerful scenes that I've ever seen. For real. And I think the music really added to that.
Yes, the music is so good.
It is so good. But for me, the moment Luke loses it and just goes for the Emperor after he's taunted and Vader stops him and both the lightsabers are kind of lit up across the Emperor's face, I thought that was a great moment. And when Luke is hiding at one point, his face is literally half dark and half light.
I'm so glad you got onto that. Cinematography is so good. He's debating himself. It's so well shot.
I thought the savage over-the-arm hits from Luke with his saber as he loses control after, he's threatened with Leia being turned to the dark side. and he cuts off Vader's arm, and it didn't seem, although it must have been to some extent choreographed, it didn't feel elegant and dancey to me. It felt rageful. It was a fleeting moment to see Luke lose himself and lose control and nearly kill him. And I think he would have killed Vader had the Emperor not fucking piped up and disturbed his
Your
flow.
hate has made you powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, please, you talk for a bit now, because I will say it loses me at some point.
The music from the Emperor's theme, the Emperor has his own theme in this film, the kind of kind of thing that goes on throughout the scenes. The music underneath the final battle where Luke loses it, and you're right, I don't think it is like, I think it might be choreographed to an extent, but it's not pretty. It's primal, unbridled rage, with the deep music undercutting it as well, is really impactful. And when Luke loses it, his undisciplined rage slices through his hand, and he realises what he's done, where he looks at his robotic hand. Vader's now sliced off robotic hand.
It's like, I am like my father.
Yes.
Nearly. Like.
And then that's when his character arc is complete, and he says, "No, I will never turn to the dark side. You have failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi like my father before me." Boom! Character complete. It's the best conclusion to a character arc for me I've seen in cinema. This is why I really value Return of the Jedi, despite its faults and its inexperience in work. This moment in the saga, I think, is one of the most powerful. And it's then up to Gen when the Emperor just blasts him with a brand new power that we've never seen before, of like
lightning hands.
Yeah, and it's like, oh fuck, the Emperor is powerful.
I thought that bit was brilliant because I didn't see it coming. I thought maybe he was hiding a lightsaber or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I felt it got a bit silly for me.
Oh yeah?
With Vader looking back and forth, clearly having a dilemma.
Yeah.
While his son's being roasted alive. And while the Hag Man is shocking Luke. And I was rooting for him to do it. I really was.
Oh, great.
I was like, do it. Do something. Save him.
Great. That's what you're supposed to feel.
And he does. And he grabs him. And he fucking picks him up. And he ends him. But I found the no as he picked him up was really stupid. But at the same time, I loved the way he picked up the Emperor and just chucked him in. I was rooting for him to do it. But the no and looking back and forth like, oh no, I'm Vader and I'm having feelings. Just, it felt a bit on the nose. He should have just picked him up and slammed him in. I didn't want to see him struggle with a decision. I wanted to see him be strong and decisive. And I feel like there were moments in this scene where I was captivated. But again, Vader ruining it. I wish he were just more evil. I found it a little bit goofy. And I know people are probably going to come at me for this.
Yeah.
But I thought the fight was very cool, like I said. But some silliness occurred. And I'm being honest with my first viewing here.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up the no, because in the original cut, that doesn't exist. George Lucas added that in like a few years ago. Yeah. He added in the no. But
Lucas!
Yeah.
He's ruining it.
There were
So it's not him. Oh.
No. In the original, there were no no's. He literally, he's conflicted with himself, and then he goes and picks up the Emperor. There's no voice, there's no nothing. He just makes a split decision like that.
Yes,
to help.
Impulsive decision.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? That would have been so much better.
He then starts wheezing.
Yeah, and then he does start wheezing.
You start to feel empathy for Vader.
A bit sorry for him. I'm like, Vader.
And this is, again, another masterclass of John Williams here. We hear the Imperial March throughout the saga, what's the word? A dangerous and militant sound whenever we come onto the Emperor and Darth Vader. But when he's dying, John Williams uses like a flute, the sound of a flute, to make it more airy and light, and it sounds more heroic than doom and militant. It's Yeah, it sounds wonderful when he's dying. I can't fault the music in this. It makes the scenes.
If I'm being honest, at times it was jarring to see Vader so subservient throughout this film.
Right.
I don't feel like he had the edge like he did in the last one. But like I said earlier, I love the way he just flung the Emperor away. And I like that. Do I like it? I don't know. He dies a good guy. His arc is complete.
Yeah, you're right about me.
I couldn't see his face that well, but he's not actually hot. Sad days.
No. He's an egghead.
Yeah, he's an egghead. Oh.
But no, I love Vader and Luke's confrontation in this film. It's just, like I said before, it's a power play.
It looked so good as well, like the way Luke was lunging towards him, and he's actually backing away a little bit. Yeah. And I enjoyed Vader's funeral. Luke was the only one there, and I thought that was quite sad.
Yeah.
Why wasn't Leia there?
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't have a relationship with Vader. I would have thought, like, no. Luke probably
imprisoned her.
asked him. Luke probably asked her, like, look, your dad
Do
is
you want to come
like
to
dead.
Dad's funeral? And she's like, no.
Yeah. She'd be like, no, bitch. He tried to, like, he interrogated me. He tortured me. No.
Also, I was confused a little bit when the spirits all rock up.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, is that young... It's young Vader, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I was like, why is he young?
Yeah. Again, in the original, they used the original actor in the Darth Vader suit to appear as Anakin at that age. But because of the success, again, of the prequels and Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin in the prequels, George decided to refilm Hayden Christensen as a Force ghost and then superimpose him in this instead.
But old Vader should have been there, not young Vader. Idiot.
Yeah, I agree, because then it's like it shows another like level of, okay, so you can die and become one with the Force, but you can choose the age you want to.
Yeah. Dumb.
You what?
Dumb.
Yeah.
There's so many dumb moments.
So many dumb moments in this film. But like I said, I think the conclusion of Luke and Darth Vader's arc and how powerful it is makes up for it. Yeah. Overall, I think Return of the Jedi is a great film, but with a lot of work to have been done to make it like on the level of Empire and A New Hope. It's not in that level. It's mid for me.
I feel very conflicted about this film. Some stuff was completely glossed over. Like, too much, I'd say. Like when Luke tells Han he and Leia are siblings. Han just has that goofy face.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
And I feel like there were more opportunities, as I said earlier, for serious drama and emotional conflict, which was frustrating. Instead, we get a really long time with the Ewoks. We could have spent a lot more time with Vader and Luke, and even Jabba. I wouldn't have minded that, because I really enjoyed that first act. There were too many bits I literally rolled my eyes at. But I loved the beginning and the ending, and I actually really liked Luke in this film.
So you've gone from hating him to liking him. Now that is the perfect evidence of a character arc.
Fuck's sake, I don't want to like Luke.
Excellent. Right, Leanne, let's move on to the awards. Favourite scene?
I think the end scene, even though some bits were silly, there were parts of it that were just... Mwah. It was between that and the Jabba scene.
If you had to choose between those two.
The end one, I think.
Favourite character?
Luke.
Yes, I knew you were going to say that. Do you see why I love Luke now? Do you see why?
I didn't like him in the other films. In this film, I did. Oh, wait, I forgot to say. Because normally I would pick Leia, right? And then I had a flash of a memory from the film. They say, I love you, and I know again. And I was like, oh, it's so good.
Worst scene?
The Ewoks.
Which one? There's about 50.
When they meet Leia.
Well, for the first time. Eating one.
Yeah, the snacks. And
Okay.
it's okay, little fella. Mate, what are you doing?
Okay.
These are aliens.
Worst character.
Lando.
How come?
'Cause he's an idiot.
I mean, I'll agree with you that their plan is dumb, but not an Ewok. I would have thought you would have chosen an Ewok.
I can't name one Ewok.
Okay. All right then. Favorite quote.
I think it has to be the same one. I love you, I know.
Okay.
I like that it was reversed. I thought it was very clever and cute.
Okay. Worst quote.
I don't know, an Ewok noise? Just
Okay.
stupid, or a chewy noise. One of the stupid noises.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. All right, cool. Let's move on to the quiz. Good luck. Question 1. What gift does Luke give Jabba the Hutt as a token of goodwill?
Oh, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Yes, he does. Yes.
Yeah.
Question 2. What does the masked bounty hunter threaten Jabba with for the payment of 50,000 credits?
A spear? I don't remember.
A thermal detonator.
Okay.
Because he's holding a thermal detonator.
That's it. For fuck's sake.
Who eventually kills Jabba the Hutt? Question 3.
Leia.
Correct, yes. Question 4. What does Yoda die of?
Old age.
Yes, correct.
He's 900 or something, isn't he?
Yep, 900 years old. Question 5. What small species helped the group of heroes on the Endor moon?
Ewoks.
Correct.
Ugh.
Question 6. What does Admiral Akbar famously proclaim when he's realised his ships are surrounded?
It's a trap.
Correct.
When that bit popped up, I laughed.
Question 7. Finish this quote. If you will not be turned, you will be... blank.
Destroyed.
Correct! Yes!
Oh, nice, yes!
You will be destroyed, yes!
Yes.
Smashing this. Question 8. Which hand is sliced off Darth Vader, left or right?
I need to pretend I'm Vader for a second. I think it's the right hand. I think it's the same as Luke.
Yes, it's the right hand, correct.
That's right.
Right. Question 9. How many different planets were shown at the end celebrating?
Bruh, I don't know. Bare fireworks.
Fireworks.
1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 5. 'Cause it's a nice number.
It's 4. It's a trick one because one of them is actually the Cloud City and not a planet. So it would have been 5, but
Dickhead.
the planets are actually 4.
Little freak.
And finally, question 10. How many Force Ghosts are at the end? Bonus points if you can name the characters, and even more bonus points if you can name the actors who played them.
Oh no. I can name the characters. I can't name the actors.
Go for it. So how many ghosts were there?
There's 3.
Lovely, correct, yes.
Okay. And there's Obi-Wan/Ben,
Yep,
Yoda,
yes.
and Darth Vader.
As...
Anakin.
Yes! Well done. 3 extra bonus points there. Can you name the actors?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait. Yoda is called Kenny.
No, that's R2-D2.
Oh, that's R2-D2.
Fuck.
Oh, he's called. No, he's not Oz.
Oh, you...
Frank Oz.
Yes, correct.
Frank Oz is Yoda.
That's a 4th extra bonus point.
Anakin is. It begins with an H. You literally said it not too long ago.
I did, yes.
Hanson Bulgerstraut.
Hayden Christensen.
Okay.
And Alec Guinness as Obi-Wan. But you got 12 points.
12 points. That's the best score.
You got 12 points. Nicely
Get
done.
in. Well, wait. I shouldn't be proud. Ugh, I'm disgusted in myself.
So, Leanne, I forgot to do this for the Empire podcast, but what is your film rating of this? What would you give the film out of 10?
I am conflicted. But I don't think it was as good as Empire.
Okay.
I think this film is a 6.2.
6.2? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a decent score. I was thinking you would go like in the 6s, or maybe even the 5s. I thought you thought this film would be really stupid.
No, but because there were some redeeming qualities. Like the
Yeah.
beginning and the end were good
Yes.
in parts. Do you know what I mean? That's why I didn't give it below a 6.
So, the last time we done this, Leanne, as the fandom rating, you ranked yourself as 8 on the scale, which is far on the light side of the Force. Tell me, after watching Return of the Jedi and taking in the whole trilogy as it is, where would you rank yourself on the fandom meter?
This is really hard. I'm going to go with a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. It's in the light side. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Just about, mate. I'm worried. I'm worried now, Tony. I'm worried that the best is behind me and all that's left is shit. Are you able to
my
offer
God.
any reassurance?
Of
Please?
course. The prequels, right, actually have a fantastic story arc all the way through them. That's what I'll say about them.
Dreading it. I'm dreading it. Please.
But now, Leanne, you have completed the Star Wars original trilogy. Well done. Well
I made it.
bloody done.
I made it. The Force is strong with me.
So, Leanne, we're going to take a break from Star Wars now, a long, well-earned break. And it is now time to turn the tables on myself. So, it is your turn for the next episode to choose which film that I have to watch and to talk about on our next episode. Leanne, divulge me. What will I be watching?
Okay, so Tony has to watch Akira, which is the cyberpunk anime film from 1988, and it's set in Neo-Tokyo, 31 years after World War III. I will say, few movies this influential exist. I can't stress enough how important it is for people to watch this film. Even if you don't get it, it will make a lasting impression.
Interesting.
And as you demanded from me, I command your full attention and focus on this film.
Of course I will.
It requires you to listen. And it's more than just sweet motorbike power slides and gore. So fuck off and pay attention. I really hope you're not disappointed. And there will be much to discuss next week.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it. I will indeed fuck off now. And we'll watch Akira. And we'll talk about it on the next episode. Thank you very much all for listening in.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Yeah, we really hope you're enjoying it so far. We will be doing a bonus episode at some point in the future where we'll ask for your input and all your questions and what you think of Star Wars yourself and what films you love or films that you even hate as well. We love talking about that.
Don't be shy to comment.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Do not be shy. We love the comments. We love all of your feedback too. It makes us grow. And with that, let's roll on the next reel and we'll see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Sibling Cinema. If you enjoyed this episode, stay tuned for more arriving weekly. Make sure you check out our Instagram page, sibling_cinema, where you can listen to extra exclusive content and drop us a like, a share, or even a message if you'd like. Don't be shy. Until next time, roll on the next reel. Edited and produced by Floppy Legs.